Talkin Drums, creating conversations with the world's top drummers in the most extreme genres. This episode is brought to you by Los Cabos Drumsticks, Canada's #1 choice for drumsticks. They provide the wood you need to make the beats you deserve. Los Cabos Drumsticks. Now with your host, Cory Hoffing.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the We're Talking Drums podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, then welcome and thank you. We got a banger of an episode today for you. Make sure that you follow us on all the socials as well as wherever you're listening to podcasts. And if you can give a review, then that would be super sick. If you like this episode, then please share with all your friends and make sure you tag us as well. We greatly appreciate it. And I'm sure our guests do as well. Okay. So first off, man, I'm going on tour. My band Letharo is hitting the road next month, September 22nd through October 6th. We're going to be in the United States of America. Once again, we're so excited to come back. We're headed to Youngstown, Ohio, Cleveland, Nashville, Birmingham, Alabama, Tallahassee, Gainesville, Atlanta, Charlotte, Baltimore, Clifton, New Jersey, Brooklyn, New York, and lastly, Providence, Rhode Island. And all those dates are with our good friends in Paladin. If you don't know them, go check them out. And if you don't know my band Letharo, check us out too, okay? After that, in late October, we're hitting the road, both us and Paladin, with my good friends. And We're Talking Drums alumni, Scotty Buchanan behind the kit. Shout out. I love you, Scotty. Unleash the Archers are coming to Eastern Canada for the first time, and I want to say 4 years. Very excited. And we are playing Ottawa on October 19th at the Brass Monkey, October 20th at the Phoenix Concert Theater in Toronto. Gonna see some homies out at that, I'm sure. Then we are off to Montreal, Studio TD. And lastly, we end in Quebec City at Imperial Bell. So head over to letharo.com. All the ticket links and shows and everything like that we're doing is there. So make sure you check that out. Grab your tickets today. I know all the Unleash the Archers dates, tickets are going fast. Hopefully they're not sold out by the time this comes out. So make sure you grab your tickets and we will see you there. Okay. Like I said, we got a banger of an episode. This has been a long time coming. This week, we have on the one and only Cameron Losch from Born of Osiris. Me and Cam had been talking for probably close to 2 years about doing this episode. And I feel like we could have talked forever. And hopefully we can make a part 2 out of this at some time in the future. But we really got into all kinds of stuff, include like the beginning of Born of Osiris, starting as like a high school band, going through like 3 or 4 different iterations of the band before eventually, I think he was only 17 or 18 when they signed a major record deal. So like that whole experience and everything we got into and kind of his childhood, how he got started playing drums and some technique and some nerd stuff too, you know, talking about snare drums. You know how we do pedal settings, huh? All y'all love that. All right, guys, we're going to get into this episode. So here's my conversation with Cameron Losch of Born of Osiris. Cameron Losch, welcome to the We're Talking Drums podcast. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, Cory. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're in the lovely back alley behind the Lee's Palace in Toronto. You guys are going to be headlining here tonight on tour. How's the tour been so far?
The tour has been awesome. I always love coming to Canada So we've actually in the past had some trouble at the border, but luckily a lot of the records have been cleared, and I think the border just over the years gets more lenient as well. I've noticed with other bands as well. We're out with Upon a Burning Body and Traders. We're phenomenal bands. If you haven't check them out right now.
Yeah.
Well, not right now because you're watching this.
Yeah.
After this,
No,
check out.
Pause this.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
check them out and then come back.
Yeah. Or after you watch this, check out Upon a Burning Body and Traders. If you haven't heard them, they're amazing. So yeah, we're our first Canada date was in London, Ontario, and it was a banger show. It was a lot of fun. People got down. We usually play Rum Runners, which is the smaller room, and we played the bigger room this time. So we've played the bigger room as well in the past, but it was a treat. It's always a treat. I love the big room. But yeah, Canada is really fun so far. Looking forward to hitting Montreal soon as well.
Yeah, Montreal's always sick.
It's going to be
right?
crazy.
Like,
It's going to be, I think it might be
metal
sold
town.
out already. So I'm sorry if you're trying to get tickets. I think that might be sold out. But for the other dates, make sure you get your tickets as soon as possible for the rest of this tour. I've been happy with the turnouts. It's been very fun.
Yeah, I gotta ask though, because not a whole lot of bands play Kitchener on their their Canadian tours. So how was it playing? Because that's a much smaller city than even London or like especially Toronto.
So I'll give you the quick breakdown
Okay.
of the day, in which I've been corrected. I was calling it Kitchener, but it's Kitchener.
Yeah,
Like
Kitchener.
too many cooks in the
Kitchener?
kitchen.
You can say Kitchener.
Okay.
You can. Yeah,
Can I?
sure. Why not?
Oh, okay.
This is Canada. You can just like do whatever
So
you
I
want
get the
with
pass.
words.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I was
absolutely.
comfortable with Kitchener. Kitchener was weird for me, but
Yeah, it's like Toronto is not Toronto. It's Toronto.
no, yeah, definitely
Right?
not.
You just like meld it all together. Why not?
Exactly. So the venue was interesting. There were a lot of stairs. Our crew wasn't too happy about that. We didn't have loaders. I'm not calling anybody out, but let's see, their ATM machines ran out of cash. But the show was amazing. A lot of people showed up, and we had a ton of fun. Everyone in the crowd just went nuts, and it ended up being one of my favorite shows so far of the tour. Just the energy was unreal. And talked to a lot of really cool, like-minded people, and
Yeah.
had a lot of fun. I think people are just very grateful, and you can sense that a lot of times just walking around or in the room, where sometimes I feel people are kind of just there, but it was one of those shows that really felt the love, and people were really grateful for our presence, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, because like most bands don't come through Kitchener. It's mainly like a local scene, and then every now and again you'll get like I want to say like Steel Panther might have played there. Like it's Kitchener Waterloo, but yeah, like they have some like bigger acts every now and again, but it's not usual. So it was super sick seeing you guys hit Kitchener because they do have a pretty good metal scene there. So
Yeah, I didn't realize that it was not common to go through there, but yeah, people were very grateful. They got down, had so much fun.
that's sick. I'm glad the tour is going well. You guys are just around halfway point?
Just about, yeah. I think we probably have about a week and a half or two left. I think maybe we haven't even reached the halfway point yet. But yeah, so we're playing Ottawa tomorrow.
That's sick.
And
Is
my-
it
my-
Brass Monkey?
Yeah, Brass Monkey.
Yeah, cool.
So, yeah, we've
Cool.
played there a number of times. It's great. People have fun there too. My dad actually lives in Canada too, so I'm gonna get to see him. So it should be cool.
Nice. That's awesome, man. Sick. Well, glad the tour is going well. Let's talk some drums. I'm curious because you guys pretty much started this band when you were in high school, when you were around like 15, like the beginning workings of what would then become Born of Osiris. So when did you start playing drums? And are drums your first instrument? Because I know you play a plethora of instruments and are pretty well versed in most of them. So was drums your first instrument, and how did you kind of find your way onto the kit?
So drums were my second instrument. The first being piano. My mom she's a violinist and a violist and a music teacher, and she teaches music, out of her home and at schools. She teaches band, so she really was adamant that I learn piano at a very young age. I want to say maybe started around 6 or 7, and then she. I hate to say she made me take lessons, but when you're at that age, a lot of kids aren't begging for piano lessons. I certainly was not.
You didn't really have a choice in it.
No,
you're gonna go here, and
I
you're
had
gonna
no
do the
choice.
thing.
I hated the piano lessons. I didn't want to do it, but she's always like, "You'll thank me later." To which I did. I did thank her later because it helped me a lot later in life. But yeah, piano when I was about 6, and then I found the drums when I was maybe 9 years old. So thanks to my Uncle Gary for my birthday when I was about 9. It was like either 8 or 9. Who cares? He gifted me an old Pearl export kit.
Nice.
It was
perfect beginner kit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was from the 80s. And I had a lot of fun with it, and it's funny to think of like being that age. I think through adolescence and years after playing the kit, I was just doing Nirvana covers and just messing around when I would get bored and jamming with my brother, he's also a musician, and he's more in the production and mixing aspect of things. Shout out to Brian, he's awesome. But it's funny to think at that age when you're really like starting to figure out who you are and maybe what you could do with your life, that I also enjoyed skateboarding so much.
Oh, dude, I skated as a kid.
You did too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's all I did. We just go
Same.
to random places, blast music, and just skate.
Yeah, exactly.
I was never any good.
I mean, neither was I.
But I loved it.
I was not very good either. But it's funny to think but I thought I was pretty good at the time.
Of course. Until you see the guys in high school who are just like doing crazy 20 sets.
Yeah,
and
then you
like,
go to a different skate park and you're getting smoked by everybody.
Yeah.
But in my little circle of friends, I was pretty good at skateboarding. But it's funny to look back at those times and think in my little teenage brain, I was like, I want to be a pro skateboarder. I'm like, yeah, drums are fun, but I want to be a skateboarder.
Yeah.
It's just interesting how things change a lot. And
both aren't very great career paths. I'm sure your parents were just like, you're not going to be either.
You're
of
gonna
those
fail.
things.
You're gonna fail miserably at both.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I guess if for anyone who is at that age now and discovering it, really just sky's the limit. Honestly, just go trust your gut and keep doing what you enjoy. And it will come. Opportunities will come, but just don't stop doing it. Even when you can find time for your hobbies, try to always find time for your hobbies. I guess I know it's easy to say, but try your best to not give it up if you love doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if it doesn't turn into a career, you can always keep that as something fun that you do. Right?
So to answer the other part of your question about forming the band, I think it's safe to say about 15 the band formed. We went through different name changes, local. We were just a local band. Your Heart Engraved was one, but before that was Rosecrans, and before that was Diminished, and that was our punk rock band.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we had a punk band. That's the one nobody knows about. Diminished was kind of where it actually all started. Me and my friend Joel Negus were just doing punk songs in his parents' basement, and we actually had albums out. His dad had owned a recording studio, really nice recording studio in his home. So that really started it all, where we were able to, his dad was able to record us. And that is also one of my biggest tips to newer musicians is learn to record yourself, or figure out, get somebody to record yourself, because it's a good way to, if you can hear yourself back, you can improve and say, oh, I don't like when I did that, and maybe try again, and you can get discovered more easily. But anyway, so that we started as a punk band. Then eventually Ronnie, our vocalist, came into the mix. He did some screaming on our punk band. So then the next album by Diminished was a little more screamo, because now we got a screamer.
Yeah.
Right.
The punk was screaming. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we have some, it's like guest features from Ronnie. Well, me and Ronnie stayed in touch, and Joel went on to do his thing, and he's a very successful musician, and he's also a priest as well. And so we've stayed in touch. Shout out to Joel Negus, his whole family, amazing guy. So then we had moved on, and then we actually met. I met Joe Burris in 7th grade, so he does keyboards and backing vocals. So we all were just throwing demos around and making music. He produces and records as well. He's like very talented.
Nice.
And then we had guitarists who were just friends, nothing very serious the whole time, just friends who to this day probably don't really play guitar at all anymore. And then we met Lee McKinney, our guitarist, was playing in a band called Before He Dies. So we played local shows with his band. Oh, I should mention also David, our bassist. He was my neighbor and a good friend. He's amazing. Shout out to David. So he came in the picture as well. And we've, just been neighborhood friends. So
nice.
Skating together and all that too.
Yeah. I like that. Like in high school, it seems so easy to put a band together.
It is, yeah.
You
in
know,
high school,
so just like hearing about all this is like, oh yeah, well, I just knew this guy, so he came and played with us, and
yeah, exactly. And then so like we met Lee through Before He Dies because he was just shredding. We saw him, we're like, holy shit, who is this guy? And we needed a guitarist at the time. I think can't remember who was filling that spot at the time, but maybe they like weren't interested anymore or something like that.
It happens.
So we invited Lee over to try out for band practice. And I remember because I was writing all the guitar parts at the time, so I was showing him the guitar parts and I was like auditioning him essentially, and would show him like a lead. I would be like, show it to him, and he's like, oh, I'll never forget. He's just like, oh, you mean like this? And first try, I played it exactly. And I was just like, oh shit, like this guy rips.
Yeah, it's perfect. Like,
yeah, so Lee was just like the final kick in the butt we needed to really be a band.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we were all very young, and we our first record was recorded in 2000. Maybe recorded in 2006, came out in 2007, but it was during our spring break of high school in our senior year. And many people don't know that I actually recorded every instrument on that album besides the vocals.
Wow.
So
shit.
Yeah.
That's
it was
intense,
a lot. Yeah, I didn't think anything of it at the time, but being older now, I'm like, damn, I was young actually. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Wait, you would have been like, this was senior year?
Senior year. So I was 18 at the time. Most of the songs, they were written from the span of like 16 to 18. So I had about 3 years to get together about 21 minutes of music.
Nice.
So yeah, it was nice. It just feels like a piece of history now.
Yeah. And that actually got you guys signed to Sumerian, right?
Yeah, so we recorded with we went to Michael Keane from the Faceless' studio in Burbank, California to record the actual thing.
Oh, okay. Or that was just your demos and
so I mean I recorded that all myself with Michael Keane, and then Ronnie, and Joe did the vocals, but we were signed off our demos before that.
Yeah.
That I recorded in my parents' basement. Yeah.
2006.
Shout out to my parents, and also for providing a basement that I could, start my career in.
Because I remember recording demos in a basement in 2006, and our recording setup was a 4-track, which we could flip the tape around and then record another 4 tracks on top of it. So
was it Tascam by chance?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to rock the Tascam, the blue 4-track.
Yeah. Oh man, those are some of the first demos in one of my bands. Like that's how we did it, and it sounded so terrible.
It's pretty raw. Yeah. Honestly, what was worse is like I got a digital 8-track after that, and it was so confusing.
Yeah,
That
those things were.
that was like the really crappy in between point of recording for me, where I almost gave up. I was like, this is not fun anymore. But then I was introduced to Pro Tools, and
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We got Cubase, and then we had like a little setup in our basement again, like in a different house. But
Cubase, I've heard really amazing things.
I'm
like
Pro Tools now. I'm all Pro Tools now.
Oh, for sure.
But,
That's awesome.
yeah,
I
back
moved
in that
to Logic Pro, but you know what? They all do the same thing.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Anything. Reaper, Fruity Loops.
Reaper, yeah, I think Reaper might be free if you look hard enough.
It is. If like you do pay for it, it's like $60, but you can do it for free, and then you just hit the still evaluating tab when you open it.
Oh, you know the tricks. Okay, yeah, I don't know.
that's all you gotta do.
Someone
Yeah.
told me it's free. I don't use Reaper, but
I
know
actually
a lot of
bought
people
a
like it.
license for it, so I could support it. But now I don't use it.
yeah,
So,
I don't crack. I don't torrent any crap. I had those days when I was younger, and I've switched computers so many times. And I also believe in supporting companies and software because they work really hard and make amazing products. You should pay for it. So
Absolutely.
I don't torrent anything anymore.
Yeah.
Those days are over for me.
So what was it like getting signed off a demo? You're in your last year of high school, and you're like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. I assume like at that point you guys just got out of high school and pretty much went on tour.
It was insane. I don't think any of us were ready for what happened. So
Right.
even to backtrack a little bit, Sumerian Records had asked us before we got signed. They messaged the band account. I remember they said, "Are you guys ready to do this?" Well, they said they showed interest, and we were like, yeah, we'd like to sign. And they're like, well, do you guys have a van and trailer? And we did not, but I lied, and I was like, yeah, we got it all.
Oh yeah, we're good to go.
Yeah,
Just
we're
put
good.
us on the road tomorrow.
And then I'm running up the stairs. Mom, we need to find a van and trailer. So yeah, no, shout out to our parents for helping us out. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. I think there's a lot of really talented people who unfortunately you are never gonna be able to tour, and you might never hear of them because they didn't have support from their parents or means of doing it. And I think we were just so blessed to have supportive parents at the time to give us that extra kick in the butt and be like, hey, you know what? We're gonna get you guys a van and trailer if you just like don't let us down. I mean, you got to stick to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
And-
you guys can't give up like right away.
Yeah.
Because
So,
the road, especially as a really young band, is grueling.
oh my
It is
gosh,
tough.
we did not know what we were doing. I remember, we were doing like MapQuest directions usually for our
Yep.
local shows, and then finally on our first tour, I think we got a Garmin GPS. I don't know if they even make those anymore because everyone has a smartphone.
Yeah, I'm sure they do, but somewhere.
Yeah, so our first tour was with Winds of Plague, was headlining Beneath the Sky, Catherine, and At the Throne of Judgment.
Oh, no way.
So
I haven't heard that name in forever.
I think most of those bands are broken up by now.
Probably. Yeah, you're the only guys.
We were
still around.
the openers, and shout out to Winds of Plague. They like took us under their wing, and they were just so nice. And
Was Art Cruz in the band at that point?
not the first tour, but we then did a tour with them in 2009, and he was.
Nice.
Yeah, Art's amazing. He's shout
Only
out to
heard
Art.
Awesome things about that.
Oh
dude,
yeah,
so,
man, you got to get Art on an interview. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's really good at magic too. Obviously
That's
amazing
what
at
I
drums.
heard. I wanna
Crazy.
get him on just to do magic.
Yeah,
tricks.
yeah. He's a party. He's great. Yeah, it was. We were not ready for the first tour. It was so much. Like it was like just being thrown into the wild and like, okay, it's time to grow up. Like what? I don't know. Which we
Yeah.
did not.
You're on your own
It
for a
didn't
month
work.
now.
Yeah, it didn't
Like,
work. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. I guess just being a kid, like but you don't know you're a kid because you're like, oh, I'm 18, I'm an adult. But like, you're still a kid well into your 20s.
Late 20s.
Late 20s, absolutely. Yeah.
Especially if you're just a musician. Like, do you really grow up?
Still, yeah. I mean, this is my touring, like, this is my lifestyle. I feel like I'm still a kid now, but I was really, really not ready for any of it. But I think we still kicked ass, and, you know, we played great shows. We were fairly tight band still, just from being a local band together for so long. I think we didn't hit the road like not knowing what we were doing on stage, but I think everything else was like, okay, now you're gonna play in New York City, like figure out where to park your van and trailer. We're like, what?
Oh yeah, dude.
Good luck.
All that stuff, you got to figure out really quick.
Yeah,
you know? But the fact that you guys you've been playing together for so long, essentially, and you were like that tight live. So once you did hit the road, I think you guys showed up and made a big impact right away.
For sure, yeah. It felt like we were making a big impression. So it was good still. We just still didn't. We were little kids though.
Yeah, little kids. And then here it is, like, what, like 16 years later, 15 years later?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's still going.
It's wild.
Yeah.
I don't know how we survived, but we're here.
Yeah. And you guys just released a brand new single.
We did, yeah.
Was it like about a week ago?
We did, yeah. We released Torchbearer about a week ago. We've been having a lot of fun playing it live and just get people jumping for it. It's energetic. And although I don't think it necessarily represents the entire album, because there's a lot of different flavors on there and things, I think it's still just a really fun song to play. I always hate the first single because I whatever gets chosen, I never agree with. But it's cool. I don't care. Some people don't like it. I also don't care because they're not the people who are coming to the shows. Because
typically,
all the people that are coming to the shows love the song. I know because they tell me and they rock out to it. So the internet can suck one.
Yeah.
Except for the nice people on the internet. Those people are there too, and I love you. And it's probably the people watching. You're the good eggs.
Yeah. I think it's a great song, and I think it, you know, like you can still hear that it is like Born of Osiris in there. Like it's not a huge jump into something crazy or new or anything like that. Super catchy. It's still heavy. Like you guys have all the elements there. It's great. I'm excited to hear the whole album, you know.
Yeah, I'm excited to share it. It's a lot of flavors. There's some new stuff in there, and all, you know, while maintaining the original sound. So I think it's very well rounded. I'm excited to unleash this one.
Yeah, you guys have gone through, like, I'd say like a pretty good transition throughout your albums from a more like tech metalcore sound for the first couple records, and then transitioning into more like symphonic type stuff and all like more melodicness.
Definitely, yes.
Stuff.
A little more singy, a little more singy. Yeah, a bit more structured. Yeah. But I can't speak for all the songs. There's definitely some off the wall stuff in there with, you know, completely prog. But there's also, you know, there's stuff where we stuck to our roots, and there's also things where I think we're expanding on ideas and doing the verse chorus structure. You know, you don't want to run away from that either. And I think I think this one will sit nicely with the people who miss the unpredictable sound of our first 2 or 3 albums, and then people who are also a fan of the more like Angel or Alien approach, where there's a bit more structure, a bit more singy. I think we met somewhere in the middle in this one.
Yeah. Speaking of Angel or Alien, so recently they proved that aliens are real. So do you think next they're gonna tell us that angels are real?
I think that the Christians have been trying to tell us this the whole time. So yeah, I do believe in aliens, 100%. I also think it's a little bit strategic when it will be announced on the news. I think It's like, yeah, why are you telling us this? You admitted this already like a few years ago. But
And they made it a huge story. Well, it's clearly a distraction.
Yeah,
Anyways,
thank you.
like,
Yeah.
obviously,
It's like
but-
clearly you're trying to divert our attention from something else because we knew this. You're beating a dead horse with this alien news. We all know. Why are you telling us again?
Yeah. All right, no more alien talk. So as far as drums go, let's get into some more gear type stuff. All right. So you're with SJC drums.
Yes.
How long have you been with them? Because like, that was a company back in the day that was like everybody was playing SJC, and there's like custom drums, and like everybody wanted those drums. Like all my friends and bands in the scene and stuff. Like that was the company. So have you been with them for a while?
Yeah, I've been with them since I believe 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, they make killer drums. I mean, they look and sound amazing, very unique, custom drums. So you can get things that are just a one of a kind.
Yeah.
Like the kit that I have right now. I'm not sure if y'all watching have seen my current SJC drum kit, but it's sky blue pearl wrap with gold hardware.
I love it.
And
I
yeah,
love the
it
gold
looks
hardware.
It's my favorite drum kit that I've owned so far in my lifetime. It's really amazing. Sounds great. And yeah, just the color, especially when you put some lights on it.
Oh yeah.
It pops out like it looks like, I don't know, it looks like cotton candy or something. But yeah, I've been with them since like 2013. Had maybe three different kits with them only. I guess that tells me I should be getting more drum kits more often, but
Yeah.
I'm
I think
stubborn.
You're due.
I'm
You're
stubborn.
due for another one.
Yeah, for sure. I'm stubborn. I'm like, I'm
Come
the
on, new
kind of,
album, new kit.
yeah.
You know?
Thank you. Yeah, that's really how it should be. I guess that
Yeah.
means it's time for another new kit soon.
Yeah. And you got to just get it in the colors that match like the album theme.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got it.
I like the way you're thinking.
Do you also use a SJC snare?
Yeah, I do. I do. I have a really awesome brass Apollo snare. I think it's like 8x14. It's such a beast. I love brass snares.
An 8x14.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's deep.
Yeah. I like it.
It cracks, man. It's awesome. I love brass snares because they're so loud and like I beat the crap out of my snare, but you don't necessarily have to. So like that's like I like brass, and I think a lot of metal drummers like brass too, because if you're playing faster things and blasts and stuff, I think that it pops out a bit more because brass is just loud, you know.
My favorite snare is a hammered brass. It's a 1.2 millimeter hammered brass. I love it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's super sick.
But who makes that one?
Mapex.
Oh, Mapex is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's 14 by 6.5.
Oh, sweet.
So, yeah.
So tonight I'm playing with, although I love the SJC snare, I have to do a little fine tuning on it at home at the moment. So I'm using a pork pie maple snare tonight, and it's one of my favorites in my collection lately. I say collection like I have a bunch of snares. I have two, but
Two snares. That one.
I'm working on it, guys.
It.
I need to get more.
Yeah.
I need to get more snares.
Yeah, my other one is a pork pie as well. It's a 14 by 7 cherry babinga.
Wait, hey, that's mine. I lied. It's not maple. The SJC kit is maple, but you totally just refreshed my memory. That's literally the snare that I'm playing tonight. It's the cherry babinga. Thank you for reminding me. That's what it was.
Finish is on it?
It's I don't know. Cherry babinga, isn't that the finish? It's just like smooth.
Oh yeah, okay. Mine's orange.
Yeah, orange.
Oh, okay.
I think we had the same exact one. I had to I had to get mine used. So the Angel
I got mine used as well.
Yeah. I don't think they make it anymore.
No,
So-
I've had it for years.
So the Angel or Alien record, I used that snare, and we used no drum samples on that album aside from the kick, which I triggered. So like metal drummers understand, everyone samples their kick on metal records, anyways. But yeah, I'm like take a lot of pride in no drum samples on that album, which nothing wrong with drum samples, but I thought it was cool because it was the first time I did that. So I was just like, I borrowed that snare from my homie Matt Durkis, who had recorded the drums on that album, engineered the drums on that album, and I liked it so much, and I liked how much it sounded on record, I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy that snare. So I'm still using it.
Yeah, it's sick. I haven't been using it because I have my Persuader brass snare, but I love it. Every time I go back to it, I'm like, fuck, it just sounds great all the time.
Yeah, it just cracks.
Yeah. All right, we could talk snares all day. Pedals, I noticed that because a lot of guys these days are either doing double strokes or swivel, but you're still rocking just straight single strokes.
Yes, that's a great observation. So I do use swivel from time to time, and it's generally for like the shorter bursts of things, and it's not on purpose. It's just, you know, it's just a reflex.
Yeah, move just to keep loose.
Yeah.
That's when I first started doing it. I was tensing up too much just doing singles, and so I naturally started just moving my heels to keep loose.
Yeah, so I think it's one of those things that if I focus too hard, like, okay, try the swivel, like I just completely fail. Like I've sat at home and admittedly maybe not spent as much time as I should have, but I've spent a decent amount of time at home just trying to work on the swivel for longer periods of time because I really want that because it's a good way to get, you know, less gassed out and just exhausted, you know.
Yeah. I find it keeps my timing really well.
Yeah.
As well, because it's like a metronome ticking, right? You know when you're going like that. You play to a click live as well?
Yeah, I do.
So that way...
And it's like you're putting out the invisible cigarette is what Alan Cassidy from Black Dahlia Murder told me.
That's what Ken Bedeni from Aborted told me. So,
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know?
So yeah, it's one of those things like you're never too old or experienced to keep learning new skills. And I think if there is one that I will continue to strive for is to implement the swivel a bit more because luckily nothing in Born of Osiris we play is like it's not that fast, not for a very long period of time, so I can get away with doing, you know, straight like psychroptic style, like Dave from Psychroptic. He kind of plays the same style on the feet as me. There's really not a whole lot of technique to it. It's literally just ankle motion. But I get pretty gassed out, I'm not going to lie. Like hitting the faster speeds, it's like you'll see me play, you know, Brace Legs, Empire's Erased, and you hear like those fast speeds. It's taken a lot out of me. I'm not going to lie. It's
yeah, do you play Spring Tension on max?
All the way.
Yeah,
all the way.
Max.
Kills me. It kills me. But I mean, cardio's great. Cardio's good.
It's good for you, right? You're gonna work out. Getting the sweat on stage is always healthy.
But I do notice the more that I do faster double bass, I start to just not on purpose adapt the swivel a little bit. And I've found myself, you know, during faster songs, I look down, I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing it. And I'm like,
and that's when you mess up.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things also, I think, like, if you don't use it, you lose it sort of things. Or if you're not constantly playing fast music, your body's not going to adapt so much to it. I think although I think right now I've never been a better drummer in this time of my life right now. I think there was a period when our music slowed down a lot and like, I just remember being frustrated, like, fuck, I can't play as fast as I used to be able to, you know? But I got it back, luckily, but practice, you know?
That's pretty much it. Like, I went through times when I was just practicing hours and hours. Like, I'd work during the day, and I'd come home, and I'd practice for, like, 3 hours, like, every single night, and just working my BPMs up. Like, I just wanted to play 260. I just wanted to do that, right? Even if it was only for, like...
That's really fast.
Like 16 bars, you know? Like, but... then started touring and stuff. When we got off tour, we weren't rehearsing, busy doing other stuff, and I found it was so hard to get back to like that routine and like get back to those speeds. Like it took me a while, a lot of practice to get back to that. So like I have my bass, like 200 is like my resting speed, right? Like that I can get back in no time. But getting to those faster speeds is like, it takes so much work.
Oh yeah,
so fast.
It's very brutal. So when I'm home from a tour, sometimes it can be for a long time. You know, as recently we even had maybe 8 months off from a tour. I mean, aside from COVID, post-COVID, I think that was the longest we'd been off, from a tour in a long time, and it's easy to just be lazy. And I'm not the kind of person who's excited to go practice drums. I'm just being honest. I don't like, it's not like terrible, but I'm not like, yes, I get to go practice drums. It does feel like a chore for me. So
it's a job. It's work.
Yeah. So what I do is I do Monday drum day, just to make sure that every Monday, so I'm pretty good about going to the gym like Monday through Friday, but instead of going to the gym on Monday, I go to my drum set and I set the timer for an hour. And for me, and it's not one size fits all, but for me, I play my band's current set or whatever the next set is going to be, and maybe with something new mixed in there, or the new song on repeat a few times. But I make sure that I'm sweating by the end of it, because if I'm not sweating, then I'm just going to put brace legs like 5 times in a row. And then, yeah.
Then you'll definitely be sweating.
Yeah.
So you don't have any routine you go through that isn't just playing a song? Like for me, to practice my double kicks, I'll do like 8th notes, 1 bar 8ths, 1 bar 16ths, 1 bar of 8ths, 2 bars of 16ths, and just work that up at different tempos.
That's a great workout, and that's actually something I recommend to drummers as well. Mm-hmm. So I'm not very disciplined with the click. Like I put it on, and I'm like, I hate my life. So instead,
I love the click so much.
No, I love the click if for our set, but if it's just for like, okay, you're going to do 200 BPM. Okay, now kick it up to 210, 220, 230. I'm like, this is grueling. I know I probably should do that more. Yeah. I definitely should. But instead, I just turn on some dance music.
Oh, nice.
I turn on like Apple Music, like dance radio, and I sit behind the kit and I just jam. But I do straight double bass. Like you said, I'll do like 16th notes alternating to like 24th or whatever, just alternate, but have fun with it. And test my speeds and blasting to hand speed. Don't want to neglect the hands, but
I did for so many years, and now I'm paying for it.
Oh, no.
But luckily, like, the main band I play for, it's not that fast. So
what is the main band that you play for?
Right now is Lutharo.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So we have a new album coming out. I just joined the band like close to 2 years ago.
Oh, it's sweet.
Yeah.
Do you think you guys will ever... Do you play Chicago ever?
Yeah. We're playing Chicago next month, actually.
Well,
yeah, in September.
I might be home in September, so I might have to come to your show.
Nice. I will definitely hit you up. I know we're probably playing some small DIY club or something like that.
Even better. So, it's way more fun.
Yeah. We'll be on the road with Paladin in September 22nd through October 7th, and then with Paladin Unleash the Archers October 19th through 23rd.
Sweet. Well, hopefully I'll see you there. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it should be a good time. But we don't do anything over 200. So for me, I've found I need to take time out of playing the songs to practice myself, or I'm gonna lose those higher BPMs. I'm gonna
if you don't use it,
you lose it. Yeah, right. Already been stated. So yeah, so I need to make sure I practice as well. So, and I've been slacking hard.
Same Z's.
Yeah, but you're on tour. You're like, no,
this is
I
get
doing
practice.
The thing.
Get practice every day.
Yeah. Do you do warm-ups at all before you go on?
I do. I like to. If we're playing bigger clubs with better dressing rooms and accommodations, it's easier to have a place to set up my practice pads and things.
The backstage here, the green room's not very big here.
Yeah, I know. So. I know it sounds like an excuse, but for a drummer, I think it's valid, because if you don't have anywhere to set up your pads and play them, you can't really warm up. I mean,
yeah, and also you set it up in this small little room, and then you're on all these pads, and the guys are trying to take a nap or just chill and talk, and it's just that you're annoying everybody.
Yeah, so it's easier for guitarists, for example, where they have this guitar and they can take it anywhere they want. You can have a practice amp. It's very small.
Yeah. Or even put your in-ears in, and you can actually play just in your ears.
You can get an app that does guitar distortion and put your AirPods in.
Yeah.
But yeah,
with drums.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
I have this awesome Tama practice pad, kick pad. It's incredible though. If anyone's looking to get a kick practice pad, Tama, I forget what exactly the model is, but it's whatever the newest kick pad they put out. It's really solid. I've been frustrated with kick pads, and this is the one. I mean, it's fantastic. It doesn't move at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I brought it. I just haven't set it up on this tour because a lot of times there's nowhere to go, and I'm being lazy too.
And being lazy. I know I brought a kick pad on our last US tour, and I think I set it up once, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah, see, I don't know what it is.
So annoying.
Well, we've also been touring this year so much. Like we just did 4 tours back to back, and it was like America, Canada tour, straight into Asia, straight into Chaos and Carnage tour, which is a US tour, straight into 4 weeks in Europe, and then just a couple weeks at home, straight into this tour. So I feel like a well-oiled machine where like it doesn't feel like a huge difference if I warm up before I go on stage or not. Like,
yeah,
at this point, it's weird. I don't know. It almost feels like it doesn't matter right now.
Yeah. Like for me, usually at the start of a tour, I'll do like before the first 3 shows, I'll do warm-ups just so I know that I'm good and I'm confident walking on stage.
For sure.
But I know after those first 3 shows, I'm good. All I need to do is I make sure my hands are a little clammy, and I stretch out all my like hand ligaments and stuff like that, and then I'm good.
Oh yeah, stretching I think is not talked about enough, but it's a good way to prevent injury.
Big time.
I like to do this one. It helps a lot if you're hitting, say, the China for an extended period of time, or the crash in your set, and you can feel you're starting to cramp up, and you're like, oh, like it's almost starting to hurt. That really helps a lot in doing that one.
Yeah. My biggest one was like the thumb muscle would always cramp up.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Taking the sticks and like holding them and then twisting your hand in. I don't know if you do any of the stick stretches or anything.
Actually, haven't tried that one.
Yeah. There's 2 that I do. Like as soon as our intro comes on, I'm just like blowing into my hands, and then I do these 2 stretches, and then I get up and play. Like that's it. That's halfway through the tour. That's all I need.
That's awesome. Yeah, stretching is great. It's important to implement those to prevent injury.
Big time. And even like ankles and stuff like that, I tend to want to stretch out a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm not flexible, but I try to touch my toes before the set too, and that helps. Like I miserably failed the sit and reach class in gym. I don't know if you guys do that here. Americans are freaking weird, but we did it.
I've never heard of this before.
They make you okay. This is an American thing. Then in school, they make you sit, and they have like a measurement and see how far you can reach to touch your toes. They call it the sit and reach, and everybody has to do it. And that's I guess that's a measurement of health.
That's a measurement of health.
I don't know. We're weird, but yeah.
Because I know we did those stretches, but I don't think it was ever measured and
they actually measured like how far you could go, and like I failed. Let's just say that, but I do my best to try to get close to touching my toes, and that's a good stretch before the set.
Oh, absolutely. As long as you're feeling it, then it's a good stretch. You don't need to touch your toes. It's overrated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, so we are both Los Cabos drumsticks artists.
Yes.
So let's talk about Los Cabos a little bit, because I love them.
So do I.
They are fantastic people and a great company. What are your sticks of choice?
So I play the 5B Hickory.
Really? Just 5B?
Yeah, what do you play?
2B.
Oh, okay.
I would highly suggest stepping it up to the 2B.
Is that
I
a
found
threat?
A huge... Yes.
Is that a
Yes,
challenge?
It is a challenge. Yeah. No, I played 5B for a long time, and I found the 2B. Once I got used to the extra girth, it feels really good in your hand.
That's what he said. You made that way too easy for me.
I know, right? I set you up, and you knocked it down, so it's perfect. Yeah, and white hickory all the way, man. White hickory all the way.
So yeah, I was doing the white hickory, and then they ran out at some point, and Phil from Los Cabos was like, "Hey man, sorry we don't have any more, but we have the red hickory. Like, are you cool with that?"
He was lying to you. He's trying to get everybody on the red hickory. Like he's tried to get me on it for years. No, he's probably telling the truth, but yeah,
he was gaslighting me into the red hickory. No,
of course.
No, the red.
You love them, don't
you? I
Yeah.
do love them, and I just say every time I order again, I'm just like, all right, yeah, let me get the same. It's like going to like if you're regular at a bar and you just sit down and like same thing. It's me with Los Cabos drumsticks.
They just
order.
reach into the fridge and crack it and put it in front of you. You don't
show
even
up,
have to talk anymore.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. Leaving for a tour.
Yeah. I mix it up though. Like I dance between the 2B and the rock.
Do they feel very different?
Yeah. The rock is a little longer. It has a little bit different weight distribution. I think the taper's a little different on it as well.
Okay.
But yeah, they're really nice. They're good. I think a little more weight to them, like ever so slightly. But the 2Bs is like just, I know they're going to be perfect.
You know, I would be interested to try that because it's not like we are doing super fast stuff all the time. There's not a ton of blast beats and things on the hands. So I feel that maybe it's correct me if I'm wrong, the 2Bs are a bit heavier.
I think the rocks are a little heavier than the 2Bs. The 2Bs are definitely heavier than the 5Bs.
Yeah, they're both are heavier than the 5Bs, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, because I think that would be awesome. Like, I'm always trying to hit as hard as possible, but I feel like that's just like a cheat code to hitting harder. It's a bigger stick, right?
Yeah. You got more weight coming down. I love the way the 2Bs like respond on the drum. Like it's, I don't know. I can't go back to the 5Bs ever. They feel like twigs now. I don't know. You have to use so much energy to hit the drum to get it to sound the way I want it to. When the 2B, it's like so easy.
It just does the work for you. The momentum.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Yeah, I love them. They're great.
I'm intrigued.
I might, our mutual friend, Bryce Butler, we're talking drums alumni.
Shout out to Bryce.
Another Los Cabos drumsticks artist. And he uses the red hickory rock sticks.
Oh, okay, cool. Wow, and he's just blasting all day with those heavy sticks,
All day, yeah.
Okay.
They're long, they're heavy, they're thick. He loves them. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, shout out to Bryce Butler. He's just a fantastic drummer, an amazing human. Shadow of Intent. You probably heard of his band. Yeah, great
awesome guy. Yeah. That's sick, man. Well, dude, you got a show to do. And I think we might be getting
It is raining a tidbit.
A tidbit. We attempted it, you know. And I'm sure we could brave the storm and talk all day.
I don't want to ruin your stuff.
It's all good, man. Dude, it's been a pleasure talking with you. I hope you have a very excellent rest of your tour, and hopefully we can do this again, and I hope to see you in Chicago when I'm there next month.
I hope to see you in Chicago as well, Cory. Thank you so much. This was a pleasure.